Before we start, I would like to thank the Fiverr.com users Pro Templates for the intro and Start Select for the music for it. Also, I've got a blank frame in this video to put the sync back in because YouTube keeps fucking it up when I upload. And if this works, then ha! Fucking snookered, YouTube! The other day, we discussed the various traits and misconceptions about addictions, and being as I intend to keep these short, I had to cut it halfway and do this episode to cover compulsions. What are compulsions? How are they any different? Addictions on one hand are mostly caused by our psychological or physiological dependencies. Compulsions on the other hand are formed through habit and routine. Think back. Did you brush your teeth today? Wake up a certain time sans alarm? Take medication? These are all harmless compulsions created by living a certain routine for a decent length of time. For the most part, they'll never end up causing problems beyond the occasional bleeding gums from a rather rigorous brushing. But what happens when we apply this sense of routine to something that has no necessity to our basic health and well-being, like video games, or excessive exercise, or even a simple frame of mind? When you look in the mirror and say I'm fat often enough, not only do you believe it regardless of truth, you start saying it every time you look in the mirror, even when you don't intend to. This is compulsion, the vicious urge to do something a certain way, one that's very difficult to break. You don't describe cracking your knuckles as an addiction, it's a habit, a compulsion. The best example one could provide for the definition of a compulsion is OCD, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, and it's even right there in the name. A sufferer will feel a compulsion to twist the doorknob 8 times before locking it, or flick a light switch on and off 3 times. OCD is a very specific version of a compulsion and a rare exception to the rule of it being done via neural pathways in the brain formed in routine. OCD forces these actions from no routine at all until they become routine. It's essentially the same thing as a very persistent compulsion. The only variance is the fact that it's there from the get-go, no routine necessary. And unlike a certain movie with Jack Nicholson, you can't overcome it with the power of love unless you're bullshitting about having it in the first place. And believe me, there are a metric fuck ton of people who do. Now before I wrap this quick video up, how many of you crack your knuckles? Raise your hands. Go on, don't be shy. Now, do your friends and family constantly wax poetic about how it's not good for you? Do you still do it regardless and maybe even get a little pissed off when they bring it up? That irritation is justified because these people are essentially asking you to undo what is often an entire childhood's worth of a neural pathway burnt into our minds. Undoing something like that isn't as simple as others might believe. We don't think I'm going to crack my knuckles, we think, oh shit, I've already cracked my knuckles without meaning to. Well, here comes the lecture again. Compulsions don't need a detox like an addiction often would, but this doesn't invalidate the fact that it's just as hard to break as an addiction, because we are accustomed to our fix by our brain paving this road for us. It's a constant uphill struggle with ourselves we can never hope to win, only to hold our own until the inevitable boulder of death comes rolling down the hillside to crush us both. And for the record, I actually do have OCD, so don't you ever try and bullshit me about you having it when you don't. If you piss on someone's leg and tell them it's raining, they're still going to wonder why the smell of ammonia follows you everywhere.